But right now, we're going to spend some time finding out about all things sports related. It's time for a sports roundup with Father Matt Frisbee. Good morning, Father.
Yeah, on the day that, does not follow Guardians' defeat. They did not lose yesterday. Good morning, Father.
Oh, good morning, Dave and Ron and all our listeners. And yeah, we will start with baseball, but we will not start with Major League Baseball first. We will start firstly with what happened here in Fremont, Ohio this past Sunday out at Spiegel Grove, where the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Museum is, where they frequently have vintage baseball games, which you may wonder, what is vintage baseball? Well, it's baseball played according to the rules of the 1860s. So, no gloves, no sliding. It's a gentleman's game, and you can catch a ball off a single bounce. It's the same as catching it on the fly. And, so the team there for the Hayes Museum called the Squires, and they played with the celebrities of Sandusky County, which would include yours truly. So, so it was a hot day out there, but it was a wonderful time. I got some base hits, scored a couple runs, may or may not have kind of tweaked my hamstring a little bit, but, I'm still walking.
And I understand really you're leading in the All-Star ballot, too.
Well, that's right. I think I usually do bring the biggest crowd to these games as I tell parishioners about it. For some reason they come out to watch. But
that sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. It's a good time. Other than this year, the heat being, baking us. It is a good time. A nice leisurely afternoon, just a lot of fun.
And who won?
Well, we had the Croghan Crushers against the Lower Sandusky Sluggers. I think I was on the Croghan Crushers. I can't remember, but we won.
We don't know the name of the team. I won. That's what you're saying. Whatever team I was on.
Yeah, that's right. We did. So it's a good time. The other thing with vintage baseball, just to stay on that for a minute, is everything is live. So, there at Spiegel Grove, there are trees in the field of play, and if it goes in a tree, well, the ball is live. So you just have to keep playing.
Gotta love that. Sounds like me in golf. It's not out of bounds, folks. I'm going to have to play it anyway. I know it's 3 holes over.
You have to have a designated tree climber, I guess.
The ball always comes out of the tree. You just have to, if you could figure out where it's coming out of that tree, if you catch it off the bounce, that could be an out. It really is.
I like these rules.
Me too.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. So, as we then stay on the world of baseball, we have the Guardians, the Indians. They're terrible. They are now 40-42, and the Tigers are just pulling away with the division, which pains my heart. I say that, I think, just about every week, but the Tribe has been bad. I think in 3 of their last 4 games, they've been shut out. And they are just not playing good baseball at this point. I think in one of their games recently, they had more errors than base hits.
Oh, my
that,
goodness.
of course, is not a winning combination.
No.
And like I said, the Tigers are just beating up on them. I saw a stat last night. In the AL Central, outside the Tigers, did not have a good month. I saw a little something last night. Did you have a better record than the Rockies, who we talked about last month, won as many games in May as Scotty Scheffler won PGA tournaments, 3 games? The Rockies went something like 10-16 in the month of June, and the Guardians, the Indians, the Royals, and the Twins did not have a better record than 10-16 in the month of June. So not a good month for the AL Central, which, of course, at that point, the Tigers don't even have to play 500 baseball, and they're going to pull away with the division. And they've played better than 500 baseball in the month of June. So Tigers probably have, I didn't even look, but they've got to have at least a 10-game lead on the division right now. So, I was talking to Deacon Jose Zamora, who's the pastoral leader out at Clyde St. Mary's. He and his wife are big Tigers fans. We've gone back and forth, and he wanted to inform me Sunday that the Tigers were on ESPN baseball, Sunday night baseball, 8 o'clock or whenever it started. I did not watch, but I told him, I told him the Tigers have the division in the bag, and he responded with saying the fat lady has not yet sung, but boy, unless something else turns around in this division, I think the Tigers are running away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at, as we creep closer and closer to the beginning of what we call real sports, football's coming back, and we're looking forward to that. Yeah, we keep ourselves busy in between. But here's the thing. It looks like it's going to be, recruiting has gone fairly well in the Big Ten. Ohio State, of course, top 5, always top 5. But other Big Ten teams showing up as well. Michigan making a push at the end.
Yeah, that's right. Some good news and some bad news for the Buckeyes in recruiting. Yeah, like you said, top 5. And they landed a couple defensive tackle commitments this past week, but they also lost out on 2 edge rushers, one to Michigan and one to Ole Miss. So that's been a complaint from Buckeyes fans of getting defensive tackles. And so here we've got a couple, but now losing out on those edge rushers kind of hurts. And, recruiting's so different now with NIL too. And you always wonder, how much does that go into the equation at this point? Who knows? But like you said, Buckeyes are top 5, as they often are. And, it's a combination of things when it comes to college football. You got to recruit top players.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see too many national championship teams that are not in the top 5, definitely not top 10 of these recruiting rankings. But you also have to develop them too, and that's the key. And that was really, we saw with Ohio State's team this past year, that was a very veteran team. A lot of guys came back for their senior year. Right. A lot of key contributors, so we think like Jack Sawyer, a great example right there. So we'll see, how things finish out. Signing days early signing days in December. So there's still plenty of time between now and then to see how all the recruiting for college football teams plays out.
And in basketball, WNBA now is expanding into Detroit and Philadelphia, and I forget what else.
Yeah, it was one other
Cleveland.
city. Yeah, Cleveland, that's right. Yeah.
That's right.
Pretty interesting.
Detroit at one point had a team, one of the legendary bad boys from those Pistons teams of the late 80s, Bill Lambier.
Oh, yeah, Lambier.
Coached.
Right.
Yeah, Lambier coached.
I remember that now.
Detroit had a WNBA team way back in the day, and they won, I think, 2 championships in a row under Lambier.
And he looked as angry coaching as he did playing, honestly.
Boy, you don't want to mess around with Bill Lambier.
No.
On the hardwood,
Now, a serious question for you, and you are the decider of these things, and once you decide, that's it. So this is an either or, and there isn't an in between. You're an Ohio State Buckeyes football fan. The Ohio State Buckeyes. I won't say we because I don't own them or anything, but anyway, Ohio State Buckeyes are either going to beat Michigan this year or win the national championship.
Oh, wow. How about
either?
I want to say both.
Either.
No.
You got to pick.
Can't be both.
You got to pick, and they're counting on you, Father. Which one is it?
I would probably say let's beat Michigan.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you 1,000%. We can win the national championship 5 years from now, but we got to beat Michigan this year. So all right.
Hard to win national championships. You got to beat Michigan.
Yeah, got to beat Michigan. Yeah. All right.
Father Matt Frisbee, always a pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much for your expertise and your priesthood.